we'll dive into our top five teams in MLB halfway through the point of the season. Who wants to go first? Top five, just to name them
I'll,
off.
I'll take it real quick, so I don't want to take too much time. But as of right now, we have a lot of streaks. Teams have been on a tear recently. Some teams are hotter than others, so it might seem a surprise. But and as much as I hate to say this, I'm going with the Brewers. I'm going for 5-1. So starting at five, I'll go with the Brewers. They have been hot as of late. As we know, they're two out of our division, like we mentioned. They're playing well, I believe. Like what's their last 6-4 in their last 10, and they're sneaky good. Very good pitching. As we know, they're second in the league in hitting as well, eighth in pitching. So if they can keep consistent and be sneaky like they are and keep on them Cubs' tail, I hope not, but it could be an issue. I hope not, but they are playing good baseball right now, sweeping the Dodgers. So it's a big eye candy opener. You sweep the best team like that, the champs, like you mentioned, JB. So it's a scary sight, but they're five. I put the Phillies at four. I think the Phillies have shocked the world a little bit, I would say. I mean, I know the Mets have been really consistent this year, so maybe that's why they're on top of the division right now, but it's still close. It's only a game and a half as of right now, but they've been clutch. They beat the Cubs twice. Like, no mention the Cubs all the time, but they beat them twice in the series at Wrigley and in Philly. So they have the talent to do so. They have great pitching as well. They got Castellanos, they got Schwarber, they got Turner. They got Scott, which I like a lot too.
Yeah.
So Hoskins as well. No, sorry, he's in the Brewers now. I'm sorry, I meant Remuto. They got a good team, and obviously they've had a good stretch the past couple of years. Went to the World Series 3 years ago. They got knocked out in the first round last year, but that's a whole different story with the playoff format. But I feel like the Phillies can pick it up, and the Mets slow down. The Phillies might take division again, so I like that. And then in third, I'll go with us. Third best offense in the league, third best team circling around that ballpark area. We're offense, big part of our game. Stolen bases are a really big part of our game. We got one of the more stolen bases in the league. I believe I have it here. I know I'll jump it up,
I think
but
we're like second in
third,
stolen bases
third,
or
third, third in
something
stolen
like
bases. I
that.
think we just missed second. I think like because we didn't. I don't think we stole any
I think we
bases.
were a couple days ago because the stats change like every day.
Yeah, every single day. But yeah, we have 106 stolen bases, which is really good.
That's a lot.
I know they've expanded the bases and limited the pickoff, so that's a good sign that it's working for the league. We're first in runs per game at 5.38, I believe it was. So if we can keep it up and our pitching stays consistent, if it can, the starters are healthy, that'd be a good season for us. But the Cubs, they shine, or they try to shine at the end of the year. So I want to wait for them to do that. But hopefully they get it done that way and make a good run for it. And then Astros, they're my second team. They're a big sleeper this year. They have really picked it up. Third best
Two.
bullpen in the league. Great pitching. They got Jimmy Pena having an outstanding year. He's
Yeah.
got Paredes, former Cub. You got Cam Smith, former Cub prospect, who unfortunately, in my biased opinion, hasn't playing well in the trade with Kyle Tucker. So Altuve having being consistent as always, having
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
year. It's up in the
When you have Altuve, you have a chance.
no, yeah,
I
and
mean, you have a
the
chance.
remaining guy that's been there. I mean, his whole career has been with Houston, so he's stepping up like always, being consistent. So I would anxious to see how the Astros do it, and we all know how like good, consistent they are. Even the playoffs, they had a good run for that long stint of their dynasty, which we thought died, but apparently like they're going crazy right now. So,
Yeah.
and then obviously we touched up on it earlier, but the Tigers, best team in the league, lead
Yeah.
the division by a landslide, 13 games, good pitching, good hitting. Five
Yeah.
All-Stars on the team, ties for the most in the MLB. But
Right.
my list for top five. I think these teams have a good chance to win their divisions and make a good run for the playoffs. So
That's
No
solid.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
No
No
no Dodgers
Dodgers in
right
that
Dodgers.
now.
list.
No
You.
Dodgers on this list. I was gonna put them at five, but as Paney does this, I put Brewers. They're in my opinion, I hate them so much. I do. But they're on a tear right now. They're on a tear. They really are. 2 games out.
Is
I
this
know we're struggling.
biased from the recent series they just had with them?
Yes. I mean, if you sweep a juggernaut, if you sweep a defending champ in the Brewers, who are not like they didn't have anything to be contending this year or anything good. Like Michael
That's a
said, the Crown was
shocker.
supposed to be that little in that slot. But the Brewers, man, they've stepped it up. And it's very frustrating. But you can't ignore greatness.
Okay,
And
Michael. Let's hear it.
My top five teams. I'm gonna project out a little bit. I'm not gonna go off the past couple weeks to kind of switch it up. I've got Houston at five. They are simply built for it. You lose Tucker, you lose Bregman in the offseason. You don't have Pena right now. You're gonna get him back. Hunter Brown is leading the charge in that rotation. He looks like one of the better pitchers in baseball. Joe Espada is respected by a lot of his players and a lot of people around the league. And going back to what I said, I mean, they're just built for it. They just won't go away. They're playing in an AL West that isn't particularly super competitive. You really only have to worry about the Seattle Mariners in that division.
Yeah.
So their resurgence is not really surprising. They trust their players, and their players come through. They built a really good roster. I think they've surprised a lot of people. So I'm going to give them five. And I know generally I don't. We just talked about ebbs and flows of a season, and I was like, hey, let's pump the brakes on the Blue Jays. But the Astros have, over the last, almost decade, reserved the right to go on a streak like this and then, get placed in something like the top five teams in the league right now. So I'm going to go Houston at five. We'll go Philly at four, powerhouse team. Some holes here and there. They need some bullpen help. I think they go out and they get maybe even a guy like Clase. That could be someone to look at as a potential trade piece for them. Or someone to acquire rather. I think they do that. They are ultimate or immediately one of the best two teams in baseball, at least on paper. So I got the Phillies at three. At four. At three, I've got the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
I think you're looking at one of the best offenses in baseball. I know they're going to be hyper aggressive. I'm really excited to see what they do at the trade deadline, and assuming that they hit on what they want to accomplish. Right? A starting pitcher, right, if not two. I think you're looking at a perennial contender in the National League. They are already, but even more so after the deadline. Again, if Jed Hoyer hits on what he wants to hit on. And then number two, I've got the Los Angeles Dodgers. I trust the Dodgers. They know how to win playoff baseball. They know how to win down the stretch. I think this was the plan all along, right? They loaded up on starting pitchers because they knew this was going to happen. Maybe not to the extent that it happened, right? You lose Snell, you lose Sasaki, you lose Glass now all at once. So they're slowly and surely starting to come back. But again, I think this was the plan all along, right? They have the offense to complement a pitching staff that is just flat out hurt. And yes, they're going through a skid right now, but again, ebbs and flows of a season. It happens to the best teams. The Yankees are going to go through it a couple times a year. The Dodgers are going to go through it a couple times a year. That's just baseball. It's a 162-game season. So I've got them at two. I trust them. They're winning the playoffs. And then number one, we touched on them a lot earlier, but the Detroit Tigers, just the makeup of that team. They know how to play baseball, like down to the roots. Again, I talked about they just need probably another starter in their set. I think it's going to be really hard if you're a team in the American League to beat the Detroit Tigers in a playoff series. So to recap, Tigers 1, Dodgers 2, Cubs 3, Phillies 4, Astros 5. Maybe you want to flip-flop Cubs and Phillies depending on how the deadline goes, but I think that's a tight race there in the middle. But that's my 5 projecting out into August and September.
I think Phillies getting Class A is very intriguing.
Yeah.
If that happens, that would be a spectacular move for them.
Luckily, we faced them already, so we're not gonna worry about it. But
yeah, that'd be it. And
that's just.
I'm gonna go now. We have very similar teams. I think all of us had the Cubs 3. I had the Cubs at 3rd, but I'm gonna start out at 5. The Yankees. I know you guys are probably gonna be like, yeah, no, like they haven't really been like all that great, but I mean, I think they've got the experience. I swear, like, if Aaron Judge, he can bat 360, whatever. But if he doesn't do it in the playoffs, it does not matter. I really need everything Aaron Judge does in the regular season. It's like, all right, like, we knew you could do that in the regular season, but let's see it in the playoffs. That is the determining factor for this Yankees team. Because if he plays the way he has played in the past with the postseason, the Yankees do not have a shot. Especially not having Juan Soto, because you had Juan Soto and Giancarlo Stanton really have a huge load when it came to trying to pick up the offense, because Aaron Judge was just throwing a bunch of pieces all over the place. He's like, hey, pick him up. Like, you can't do that again this year. You just can't. I'm gonna put them at 5 just because I like what they've done over the last couple of years, and I think their offense will get going. I'm hoping that Volpe will pick it up to a certain degree. He is not batting great. He's batting below 220. He's really struggled this year. I really want to see what he can do. Phillies at 4 for me. I mean, I'm in love with their rotation. I mean, they've got guys like Suarez, Zach Wheeler's really good. And then Aaron Nola, whenever he gets back, his stat line has been really weird though. Like I looked at his record, it was like 1-6 when I looked at it, but I don't think he's played since May. Mm-hmm. So getting him back and healthy, that's important for the Phillies. And then obviously you got Bryce Harper. He's having a little bit of no one's really talking about Bryce Harper. He's kind of had a down year a little bit, and he's been hurt as well. So being able to stay healthy for him, I think that's key. But yeah, I just like the batters, kind of what Gabe was saying. And then the Cubs at 3. I mean, I think we have the offense. There's no doubt about it. I think our offense can win us a playoff series. It's just winning the World Series. That is going to determine on how our pitching goes. And then at 2, I'm going to go to the Tigers. We talked about them. Phenomenal year, phenomenal story. Detroit has not been good in like pretty much over a decade. Yeah. And they're having an amazing year. And then Dodgers at 1, kind of like what Michael said. I trust the Dodgers. Like that is basically the only reason. And they have the best player in the game, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, as long as you have that guy, you're gonna be the best team. You have to be.
Yeah, three MVPs in the same lineup, and Gabe didn't put him in this top 5. It's crazy to me.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my